Hello everybody, Vibes of a Wildlife here. Welcome to another video where we dive into the heart, humor, and unexpected life lessons from the animal kingdom. Let's talk about love, skunk style. Before you wrinkle your nose, hear me out. Skunks might just have the secrets to turning toxic relationships into something worth sniffing at. Skunks get a bad rap. They're practically the walking emojis for stay away. But what if I told you these striped wonders are more than just nature's stink bombs? They're surprisingly social, pretty selective, and, believe it or not, they have some life-changing love lessons up their furry sleeves. In this video, we're breaking down how skunks navigate relationships, from setting boundaries to keeping things balanced. So whether your love life feels like a sweet meadow or a dumpster fire, stick around. You might just learn how to trade the stench of toxicity for something a bit healthier. Oh, and while you're here, go ahead and hit that like button. Share this with someone who could use a lesson in boundaries, and don't forget to subscribe. Trust me, you don't want to miss what we're cooking up next. No stink, just straight facts. Here's the thing about skunks. They're not out here trying to start fights. In the wild, they're masters of territorial boundaries. Each skunk has its own space, and they make it crystal clear where their zone begins and ends. No passive-aggressive notes, no drama. Just a little spray if someone doesn't get the memo. Talk about setting firm boundaries, right? What's wild is how much peace this creates. Skunks don't invade each other's space unless it's absolutely necessary. Now, let's talk about the exceptions, because even skunks, as chill as they are, sometimes cross the line. Why? Well, survival has its priorities. A skunk might invade another's territory for a few key reasons: food, mating, or, on rare occasions, safety. Imagine there's a drought, and the only waterhole left is on someone else's turf. Are you just going to sit there and dehydrate? Of course not. You're going to venture into that space because survival comes first. That's exactly how it works for skunks. When resources like food get scarce, they'll cross boundaries to get what they need to make it through. And let's not forget mating season. If the perfect match is hanging out just over the border, a skunk isn't going to let a little imaginary line stand in the way. When it's a matter of survival or continuing the family tree, boundaries can bend, but only for the right reasons. The thing is, these moves aren't impulsive. Skunks don't just stroll in unannounced. They assess the situation, calculate the risks, and only cross those lines when absolutely necessary. It's strategic, not chaotic. Now apply that to human relationships. There are moments when stepping into someone else's space is essential. Whether it's to clear up a misunderstanding, ask for help, or grow closer. The trick is doing it thoughtfully and knowing when to back off. Skunks understand this delicate balance. If they can manage it with grace and just a hint of stink, so can we. They respect the lines drawn and everyone just gets on with their lives. Imagine if people were this good at understanding and respecting boundaries. Less drama, fewer unnecessary arguments, and way fewer awkward, we need to talk moments. When it comes to love, skunks have a flair for the dramatic. Their mating rituals are a carefully choreographed dance of scent, display, and courtship. And yes, the scent plays a big role, because what's a skunk romance without a little perfume, right? Here's how it works. Males go all out to get the attention of a potential mate. They strut their stuff, put on displays, and leave scent trails that scream, "Hey, notice me." But here's the kicker. If the female isn't interested, she makes it very clear. Sometimes with a warning stomp, sometimes with a full-on spray. Talk about setting boundaries with style. If the male doesn't take the hint and backs off when the female clearly isn't interested, things can go downhill fast. And by downhill, I mean he's getting sprayed. No polite rejection here. This is a full force, "didn't I tell you no?" kind of response. If the male wasn't paying attention before, you can bet he is now. It's a powerful reminder that attraction isn't a free pass to disregard consent. Pushing too hard or refusing to take no for an answer doesn't just kill the vibe. It destroys any chance of trust or connection. Skunks keep it simple. If you can't respect boundaries, you're out. No second chances. But when the chemistry clicks, it's not just about showmanship. There's communication, mutual respect, and a whole lot of patience. The male knows not to push too hard, and the female takes her time deciding. It's a delicate balance, a mix of attraction, effort, and understanding when to back off. So, if you're out there trying to woo someone, remember the skunk lesson. Be charming, communicate well, and most importantly, respect their space. Because if you don't, Let's just say you'll be metaphorically sprayed, and no one wants to deal with that stink. Attraction isn't just about looking good or being flashy. It's about communicating clearly and respecting boundaries. It's about knowing when to step up and when to step back. Skunks might not be wearing their hearts on their sleeves, but they've nailed the art of putting themselves out there without overstepping. Take notes, people, because the line between charming and pushy is thinner than a skunk's stripe. Skunks are no strangers to conflict. When they feel threatened, they don't jump straight to spraying. Instead, they start with defensive displays, stomping, hissing, and that infamous tail lift. It's their way of saying, back off or you're gonna regret it. Let's face it, we could all use a non-lethal warning system like that. Here's the genius part. Most of the time, these displays work. The other party gets the message, backs off, and everyone walks away stink-free. But when those signals are ignored, and the threat becomes too much, that's when the skunk has no choice but to spray. It's their last resort. Their way of saying, I warned you, and now you've left me no option. This isn't a move they take lightly. Spraying comes at a cost. It's energy intensive, leaves them temporarily defenseless, and takes time to replenish. But when it's a matter of survival, when their safety or well-being is on the line, skunks will use that ultimate defense to ensure they come out unscathed. In human terms, we can learn a lot from this approach. When conflict arises, jumping straight to the most aggressive response rarely helps. Instead, start with clear communication. Let the other person know how you feel, firmly, but without overreacting. And if they respect your signals, problem solved. If not, well, maybe don't spray them, but definitely stand your ground. The key here is balance. Effective conflict resolution isn't about dominating or conceding. It's about communicating and finding common ground. Sometimes it's a compromise. Other times, it's knowing when to walk away. Skunks remind us that handling disagreements doesn't have to leave everyone worse off. It just takes a little strategy, a lot of patience, and the ability to recognize when it's time to stop the stomping and start the talking. So, what can we take from all this skunky wisdom? Turns out, quite a lot. Skunks, with their boundary-setting, clear communication, and no-nonsense conflict resolution, are pretty much the unexpected relationship gurus of the animal world. Who knew? First, boundaries. Skunks are pros at marking their space and making sure others respect it. They show us that it's okay to say, this is mine, and I need you to honor that. In human relationships, that could mean emotional boundaries, physical space, or even just the ability to say no without guilt. Healthy connections start with mutual respect, and skunks nail that. Second, communication. Skunks don't play games. They make their intentions and feelings clear. Whether it's a warning stomp or a tail lift, their signals are impossible to ignore. In our relationships, clarity and honesty go a long way. Say what you mean what you say, and don't. Leave people guessing. It's not cute, it's exhausting. Finally, handling conflict. Skunks teach us that not every disagreement needs to escalate. Most issues can be de-escalated with clear signals and a little patience. But when push comes to shove, and your well-being is on the line, it's okay to stand your ground. Just make sure you're doing it for the right reasons. And here's the big takeaway. Relationships aren't about perfection or always seeing eye to eye. They're about understanding and respecting differences. Skunks don't expect everyone to be the same. They just ask for a little respect and a lot of personal space. Honestly, isn't that something we all deserve? Skunks may be small, but their lessons on life and love are anything but. From their ability to set firm boundaries and navigate respect, to their strategic dance of attraction, to handling conflicts with patience and a well-timed warning, these striped wonders have relationships down to a science. And when we apply their wisdom to our own lives, whether it's learning to communicate, respect differences, or resolve conflicts, we can build connections that are just as harmonious. If you enjoyed exploring the world of skunk society and all its quirks, give this video a like, share it with someone who could use some skunk-inspired wisdom, and don't forget to subscribe for more insights and antics from the animal kingdom. And hey, drop a comment below. What's your favorite skunk fact or lesson? Let's talk about it. With that said, thanks for watching. And until next time, remember, when life stinks, handle it like a skunk, with grace, boundaries, and just the right amount of sass. See you soon.